At twilight, the labyrinth transformed into a parallel universe, where the dim light of torches blended with shadows that slowly danced upon the ancient walls. I, Ren Kael, was walking through a newly discovered corridor, where the silence was broken only by the distant echo of footsteps and murmurs that seemed to come from forgotten times. The atmosphere was dense, almost tangible, as if every stone carried the memory of countless secrets. It was in this setting that, following the revelations of ancient secrets, I sensed that something more was about to be unveiled, a new path that, although fraught with risks, could open the doors to an unexpected alliance. I walked beside Kira, our eyes intently scanning the inscriptions and symbols that, hidden among the cracks in the walls, indicated the existence of secret passages. Every turn of the labyrinth seemed to reveal a new mystery, and the pulsation of my necklace intensified the feeling that fate was in constant flux. It was then that, as we passed through a half-open door, I came upon a chamber unlike any we had explored before. There, the dim lighting revealed a space filled with worn artifacts, carved inscriptions, and, above all, the presence of figures that seemed to have been forgotten by time. Feeling the urgency and curiosity that always drove me, even when fear insisted on whispering doubts, I advanced with cautious steps. The chamber was filled with worn wooden furniture, baskets of tattered fabrics, and scattered scrolls, as if an exiled people had taken refuge there to preserve something of their past. The tension in the air was almost palpable, and every breath made me realize that the environment there held more than just remnants of a lost civilization. It contained the essence of a truth that could change everything I thought I knew about the celestial cult of shadows. While examining one of the scrolls, I heard a soft sound, footsteps approaching slowly, unhurried yet with clear intent. It was then that a figure emerged from the shadows. Dressed in simple attire, yet bearing the marks of a past filled with suffering and resistance, the man introduced himself as Heijin. His graying hair, deep eyes, and humble bearing contrasted with the aura of knowledge that emanated from him. "I am Heijin, one of the exiles remaining from the ancient disciples of the cult," he said, his voice heavy with an experience that transcended years, "and I come here to guard the secrets that many dared to forget." I looked at him with a mixture of distrust and curiosity. Ever since I had uncovered the ancient secrets, I felt that something greater awaited me, and now, standing before Heijin, it seemed that the truth was about to be revealed in layers. Kira, always attentive, interjected in a firm tone. "Heijin, why did you choose exile? What does the cult have to do with this loss of faith?" The man sighed deeply, his eyes fixed on a distant point, as if reliving painful memories. The cult, which once promised redemption and power, became an instrument of oppression and sacrifice. Those who disagreed with the methods and the forced rituals were expelled, condemned to wander in the shadows of this labyrinth. As his words echoed through the chamber, I felt a chill run down my spine. My own destiny, marked by rejection and struggle, seemed to parallel this forced exile.
Quick tip to level up your experience. Read Manhwas and light novels for free. Listen to epic audiobooks. Watch unlimited anime. Play cloud games with no console. And stream the best anime soundtracks. Check the description now and grab your free trials.
Heijin continued. "We, the exiles, seek to rebuild what has been lost," he said firmly, "and to help the chosen ones find a path not rooted in violence and submission, but in evolution and a true understanding of the legacy we carry." The atmosphere filled with a silence heavy with anticipation. I, who had always considered myself an anti-hero with all my doubts and scars, felt for the first time the possibility of an alliance that could truly transform my destiny. "If this truth is as dark as they say, I want to know everything," I declared, my voice rough yet determined. Heijin nodded slowly and, inviting us to follow him, led us through a series of narrow passages that brought us to a larger room, where several other exiles had gathered. There, amid murmurs and tired glances, I encountered faces marked by struggle and by the stubborn hope for a new beginning. In that room, the atmosphere was almost ceremonial. The natural light filtered through ancient stained glass windows, casting kaleidoscopic patterns onto the stone floor. Each exile seemed to carry a unique story, yet they all shared the same invisible scar, the mark of having been forced to abandon the cult that once promised them glory. Among them, I noticed the figure of Yujin, a woman with penetrating eyes and a resolute expression, who immediately stood out. She was undoubtedly one of the unofficial leaders of the group, her countenance blending the hardness of survival with the tenderness of someone who had suffered irreparable losses. Yujin approached us and, with a slight nod, said, "I am Yujin. Here, we gather to preserve the truth that the cult tried to erase." As she spoke, I felt every word resonate with the strength of a life dedicated to resistance. Yujin explained that after the fall of many ideals, the exiles committed themselves to seeking knowledge that transcended violent rituals, a knowledge that would enable the chosen to attain power without sacrificing their own humanity. For hours, amidst dialogues and long moments of silence, Heijin and Yujin recounted the events that led to the exile. How the cult's leaders became corrupted, how the promises of redemption turned into instruments of control, and how many were forced to abandon everything in order to preserve what remained of their dignity. Each account evoked in me a mixture of repulsion and a strange sense of identification, for despite my anti-heroic nature and my reluctance to submit to any dogma, I could not help but recognize the painful truth hidden behind every word. As I listened, the pulsation of my necklace intensified, as if it were in perfect harmony with that moment of revelation. I found myself torn between the urge to finally cast off this dark legacy and the inevitable need to confront it in order to forge my own path. "The truth, Ren, is that the power we seek cannot be built upon oppression," said Yujin, looking directly into my eyes with an intensity that disarmed me. "It must be earned through understanding, empathy, and the courage to reinvent oneself." I hesitated for a moment, feeling that every word she spoke challenged my very identity. I had always carried myself as a stubborn anti-hero, viewing the world with a mix of cynicism and indifference. But in that moment, something within me began to change. "I have carried the burden of contempt and rejection for far too long," I confessed, my voice hoarse and sincere. "Perhaps it's time to learn to fight not only against external enemies, but also against the internal demons that hold me back from transforming." Heijin nodded with a look of understanding. "The alliance we forge here is not just against the cult," he added, "but against everything that hinders our evolution. We are those who refused submission, and because of that, we know the pain of rejection. But we are also the guardians of hope, of the secrets that can change the fate of the chosen." Suddenly, as the exile's words still echoed through the room, I felt a strange vibration coursing through the space. The floor trembled slightly, and a bluish light began to form at the center of the room, as if a hidden energy was about to be unleashed. The air grew thick with tension, and all eyes fixed on that luminous manifestation. "You have always been more than mere survivors," declared a clear, resonant female voice that seemed to come from all directions at once. It was Yujin, who, with a determined gesture, moved closer to the energy. "If you truly wish to forge a new path, you must prove that you are willing to sacrifice for the greater good." The words hung in the air like a challenge. I felt a mixture of fear and determination invade my being. It was as if my entire existence was about to be put to the test. Kira grasped my hand firmly, and in that moment, I realized that the alliance we were forming was our only chance to break the chains of the past. "Show us who you truly are, Ren," urged Yujin, her eyes filled with fire and compassion. The bluish energy intensified, causing the surrounding shadows to recoil. I took a deep breath, closing my eyes for a brief moment to focus all my fury, pain, and hope into one single thought: the need to transcend the contempt that had always haunted me. When I opened my eyes, I felt that something within me had changed. An inner flame, hidden for so long, had ignited with an unexpected brilliance. "I accept the challenge," I declared, my voice firm despite my heart racing. At that very moment, the bluish energy burst into a wave of light that spread throughout the chamber, testing the limits of my endurance and will. I felt as if every fiber of my being were being purified by that brilliant flash, and for a brief instant, time stood still. The exiles watched in silence as I stood in that moment of transformation, a reluctant anti-hero, scarred by the past, yet now ready to confront my inner demons. Kira, with eyes full of support, murmured, "I believe in you, Ren." The energy began to dissipate slowly, and the room filled with a silence that was both laden with relief and brimming with new possibilities. Yujin smiled, an expression blending pride and sorrow, and said, "Now, you have proven that you are capable of breaking through the barriers that imprison you. This light that emerged from you is a symbol of a new beginning, not only for you, but for all of us who refuse to accept a destiny imposed by fear." The atmosphere in the room changed irreversibly. The exiles, their faces etched with both pain and hope, began discussing the next steps. Heijin proposed that together we form an alliance. A brotherhood that would seek not only the truth about the cult, but also a new way of embracing the power that had been promised to us. Still feeling the resonance of the light that had spread within me, I knew that this moment would be decisive. "I am willing to join forces," I said with conviction, even though my voice trembled slightly, for I know that to break from the past, we must walk together. Kira squeezed my hand and added, "United, we can transform pain into learning and anger into action." The faces around us softened, and a new sense of brotherhood began to take shape. Eugen, with a serious look, declared, "Our alliance is not without risks, but it is our only hope to rewrite the legacy of the celestial cult of shadows. May each of us be prepared to face not only external enemies, but also the ghosts of the past." Those words resonated within me, awakening a determination I never imagined I possessed. The Alliance of Exiles was more than just a union of lost souls. It was the seed of a revolution that could change the destiny of us all. Leaving the chamber, I felt a new responsibility pulsing through my veins. The labyrinth, with its endless corridors and hidden secrets, now seemed less oppressive and more like a battlefield where every step could lead us to a new discovery. Walking side by side with Kira and our new allies, my thoughts swirled between hope and uncertainty. I knew that the road ahead would be arduous, filled with challenges that would test not only our physical strength, but also the resilience of the bonds we were just beginning to form. This is just the beginning, I thought, as the glow of dusk merged with the darkness of the approaching night. The true battle is yet to come, and every secret revealed will be either a weapon or a burden in our hands. Kira, with a serene look, whispered, "Together, we are stronger than any shadow of the past." And with those words, I felt that I had finally found a purpose that transcended my own existence. The exiles were leading us toward an uncertain future, but one brimming with possibilities. A future where, even as an anti-hero marked by pain, I could transform myself and perhaps rewrite the destiny imposed by the cult. As we advanced through the corridors leading to the next stage of our journey, the weight of responsibility blended with the flame of hope. And so, between shadows and light, I prepared myself to face the challenges ahead, fully aware that the alliance we had forged would be the key to the new era we were about to usher in.
Did you enjoy the video? Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us know which stories you love most and which ones we should prioritize in future productions. Your support is essential for us to keep bringing you the best manhwa content every day. See you in the next episode.